Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusha here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku, who, unfortunately, has passed away. It's been 3 months since he died, and Bakugo, he was writing in a journal. He understands Izuku's mindset a little bit more now. Being in charge is not easy. Going out there and trying to survive in the world hasn't been a good thing. Hell, the way Deku led this group, it's a surprise. He's not really respected by people. He knows that. Nejire is there to help him, and Kendo is at his side. Nejire went out to scavenge and look into reports that certain groups have been disappearing. People who consist of less than 10. Small groups. Really small groups. And so far, they found nothing. They found evidence that it could be the crazies. But so far, a strangled body is not much to go on. Someone broke into these people's apartments. Somebody got in here. And this isn't good. Nejire came back and Bakugo talked with her. If they need to be ready for winter. The military might try to squeeze them dry of a lot of resources then. And if they do, they need to make sure not to allow this. They try to push, so they pull. What they need to do is execute the person they have stationed at the radio station if this does happen. The group already knows that Izuku, he was a no-nonsense type of guy. He literally could have been killed standing in front of all of them, at the drop of a hat, but he pulled a gun and killed someone right in front of them. He then requested to drive a truck into the hive and did so, and it didn't detonate. A ballsy motherfucker in all those people's eyes. And so far, the group needs to maintain that image. They have been compliant in a few things, giving these people alcohol and food. However, whenever it does come down to manufacturing weapons and ammo for these people, the group has been less than willing. The military already have an impressive stockpile. Even Bakugo has brought this up. They are holding weapons off the table for them. All ammunition and bows and arrows. That's all they got. Nothing. They will make them some armor. They have talked about that. However, that they're more willing to price higher. The materials and all that, you know? And the military, they do so understand a bit about this. And right now, we do actually have Bakugo. He does just won't stand there. Right now, him watching the military convoy pull up to their gates, as somebody would go to let them in. Right now, the gate being closed behind the convoy as it's going to roll up. Right now, people are going to step out as Bakugo. He does a look around. Currently, him seeing a few people, seeing the blonde and seeing the commander. Currently, a man turning and pounding his hand onto the vehicle, talking about how they gotta get this all done. Currently, I'm gonna turn, walking over and expressing about how they brought some of the usual things, medicine and medications. Along with that, even some of the stuff they've agreed to for a price. So, what do they got? And Bakugo, he'll get a turn. Right now, him walking over and expressing to somebody to give him a hand with this. And Todoroki, he does just want to understand. Gonna turn and set down his weapon. Currently, him picking up the box with Bakugo, walking it over and setting it down. And the man, he would actually go to stare down inside. Currently, him seeing some of the food that's here. Currently, him bringing up a few boxes that are old, however, still good. Setting them down, I'm going to turn over some of the clothes they do have here. And it does mean a lot. And the man does a check that the shipment is everything they agreed to. A few shirts, some food, socks, and hell, even a little bit of technical stuff. Yeah, the equipment's probably old and doesn't work anymore, but hey, they didn't bother checking that whenever they were grabbing it. You know, present danger and all. And the man, he does understand. Some other people can fix this stuff. It'll take a bit of time, but refabricated entertainment is good. It's still something. And he currently would a turn, picking up an old movie, him staring at it, and then going to set it back down. Him showing it a little bit more respect than he should. Before we're going to turn to Bakugo, talking about how the medicines and research data are all there. Along with that, even a few other things they have had. So, understand this. If they do bring in certain metals they're willing to fabricate, that might cost more. Gas, price, and everything. Even the work cost. It draws away from our current projects. Really now. It does. It does. So, I'm assuming if you want something, you should say it now. I'll flat out tell you no if it's too much. Right. We were just wondering. You know, maybe something more powerful. I don't know. You know how smart people can be when they tinker? Not the usual weapons. What do you mean? I'm just saying. You got some pretty smart people here, don't you? Having the knowledge of engineering, refabricating some of the old tech that we've asked you to, and paid you very handsomely to do. It's got a few of us wondering. We've seen what creativity can do. Given enough time and resources, could you make something powerful? Something strong? What are you asking? We're just asking a simple thing. We want to know the answer to that question. I don't know. Depends on what you have in mind. You know, limitations and all that. Sure. Sure. We understand that. Though, we'll be taking our leave now. The man gonna turn, and ordering some of his men to pick up the crate and take it into the back of the vehicle. Then they'll get going. And the convoy, it will gonna leave. Currently Bakugo going to walk over to the crate and checking a few things. Seeing that the military did throw in the extra morphine they have asked for. It's gonna be needed further down the line. And they really should keep this somewhere locked up safe. Bakugo has the idea to put it in his room. But at the same time, he doesn't want people to think he's hoarding it in case they do need it. That'd give him total access. But keeping it out in the open somewhere isn't a good idea. I mean, he's not questioning people in the group. But if they just have some supplies go missing one night, that makes some people a bit more uncomfortable. You know, a thief among them, somebody who might, just pop up in the bathroom, killed over. I'm not saying it's a horrible way to go, but they're gonna need this, especially if he plans to honor a promise. I mean, he doesn't know too much about delivering a kid or a baby, so he's actually glad they have a doctor here. I'm going to turn and tell Chizuki a few things. Because right now he wants him to hold on to the morphine and take the medical stuff in. Make sure it's what they say it is. Since he's so... what is it? Not allocated. Accustomed, I believe it is, to working with medicine. And Bakugo, he's unaware that Chizuki, he is a doctor. just not a very ethical one. He has tried changing that around, fixing that problem. And currently their action is Nitre, who would go to express a few things, walking up and seeing Bakugo. Her talking about how they've still got a few months before winter. And if they want to try and hit that bunker Chizuki talked about, they need to get going. They don't know what might be in there. And it could be some useful stuff. And Bakugo, he does understand. Currently, him going to turn, telling her about how Chizuki has given them a bit of a map. He drew it up. Directions. Hell, even an address. Though he's not too sure if satellite communications are up and running. So they might have to just follow the paper trail. If that leads them to the bunker, they'll look around. The place should be locked down. Though, him and Kendo can probably go out and do that. What are you talking about? Hey. Nejire, I'm saying it might take a few days. It took Chizuki and Eri a while to get here. And I'd rather have you in charge while I'm gone, in case anything happens. Alright? Don't talk like that. How am I supposed to talk? I'm talking rationally, reasonably. You're talking like you know you're gonna die. Don't talk like that. Her bring her hand up, pointing it out. Izuku talked like he was certain he'd come back home. He wasn't so fucking depressing. Besides, if Bakugo really does think he's gonna die, walk out the gate now and find a zombie. If he thinks he's gonna come back, say it. Actually have some goddamn fire in his words when he speaks. Believe what he says. Believe he's going to live. Don't believe he's gonna die. And Bakugo, he does stare at Nejire. And Nejire, she does have a bit of fire in her eyes. A little bit more poison in those words. He does get it. Trust him. He does. However, him and Kendo need to head out. Currently, him turning his head and yelling out about how he was going to try and see about that one truck he saw on the highway, asking if Kendo wanted to go with him. And the next is Nejire, who will get a turn, expressing about how she'll go with him too. Alright. Listen, it's going to be a bit complicated. We found this one truck. We've even thought about checking out some storage locations, seeing what they might have there. You sure? Yeah. I'm gonna go grab a shotgun in case we run into anything. Why a shotgun? Close range. Also, it's a little bit more towards the center. Oh. Alright. I'll probably go get a rifle then. Or, no, a bow and arrow. The crossbow would be too loud. It would take too long to reload. I'm not so sure about that. No, trust me, it's a little tricky sometimes. I've gotten used to it, but the bow and arrow works better. I'm quicker on the draw. Currently, Bakugo, seeing Nejire, calm down a bit. And currently, he does get a turn. Him going to walk up into the manor and begin to get a few things prepared. They're going to try and check out this truck. They're going to stop by a gas station and hopefully get some gas. Then, they should be able to do a few things there. The pumps should be on. And if they're not, that'll be a little bit more tricky. What is it? The area just inside the city. There's a gas station around it, and if they can get some gas and make sure that thing can turn on, it'd be good. Okay. There is another option. I mean, building a crate wouldn't be too out of the question. But that'd be suspicious. Just a vehicle hauling a massive crate in the back? That screams convoy. I hiding it all in the back seat wouldn't be too easy either. They don't know what will be at the bunker. Okay, so they've got to figure that out more then. It's gonna be complicated. Bakugo walking in the hall. Before he would go to turn. Currently, him looking up, the guys won't stop. Seeing Setsuna step out of her room and go to turn her head. Before she's gonna walk down the hall and go around a corner. And Bakugo, he still just won't talk with her. See how she's doing. Make sure she's okay. As far as they're all aware, there haven't been any births since the end of the world. And Setsuna might be the first mother of the apocalypse. The first baby born after the end of the world. It's a scary thought, honestly. Setsuna is gonna be unsure. Is it really better to raise a kid in the apocalypse? Will they have a mutation? What's going on inside of her body? No one knows. Especially if this virus is somehow inside all of them. If they're all infected. I mean, she must not be doing too well. He doesn't really know the words that might calm her down. He doesn't know her at all. Honestly, though, maybe getting somebody else to talk to her would be a good idea. Him and her don't have a really good track record. Bakugo think back to that night. All of them were standing around a campfire. He was angry. Him and Deku were arguing, and he got socked across the face. There was more of them then. There was... Currently Bakugo thinking about it. Before he would have turned. Currently him walking over to a room and then knocking on the door. Currently him going to see Momo. And Momo does his own stand there, turning and asking Bakugo about what he wants. Currently her staring down at something in her hand. And Momo is sharpening a knife. Currently him talking about it. He's hoping she can talk to Setsuna. Is she okay? I don't know. Just a thought. I saw her leave her room. I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't been paying attention to her. Have you? She's okay. She's probably just going to go for a bit of a walk. You know. Her looking up. Bring her head up and turning it over. Currently, her wrist going a little limp with a knife in her hand. Talking about how she likes to throw knives still. She sat down with her and tried it out. Not a bad skill to learn. Izuka the right idea. Though, she's a little bit more interested in a few other things, though. You know, at the present moment. Right. But just talk with her, please. Make sure she's okay. I can do that. You want to talk to her yourself, though? Not really, no. You know, she might think you're an asshole, but she doesn't think you're an idiot. Thanks, I guess? Don't thank me. Besides, I'm a little bit busy, so can you just go? Right. Currently him going to leave. Everybody packing up and leaving. As currently, Kendo, Nejire, and Bakugo go to head out. Them driving into the city and stopping by the gas station. Currently, there being some people here. However, whenever it does come down to getting gas, it's a little bit more easy. These people aren't outright hostile. In fact, they try and monitor and maintain the area. Some people who do come by give them some supplies. However, that's usually because they think that they control the gas. They're not going to outright say they do, but the people who know they don't, they can't really bargain too much with. Unless they're willing to trade out just some stuff for, rusty knives, pipes, metal, you name it. Hell, if you want a can of spray paint and a lighter, they got you. But not much else really. And currently the group, they do someone sit there. Bakugo sitting in the vehicle and tapping his hand. Currently, him with a lot passing through his head. And the group, they do to head into the city. Currently, them stopping onto a bridge as they get out of the vehicles. Bakugo turning and going to actually run up. Currently, him running up to a wall and bringing his hand out. Grabbing onto something as he does, going to bring his left hand up and swing it up. Currently, him grabbing onto the pipe and going to hold on. Getting a grip on it as he wrap his feet up and push his thighs in a bit more. Currently, his knees grabbing onto the actual pipe. And Bakugo, he does begin to shimmy up. Currently, him going to turn. Before, going to actually push off and grab out onto something. Currently, him swinging his body as he doesn't stand there. Him going to hang there as he doesn't swing over and pull himself up. Currently, him looking around and not seeing anybody on the level of the building he's on, as he does a sit out on the patio of a random apartment. Him going to look down and try and see if there's anything there. And there actually is closer to the tunnel entrance, down below. He does go stare at it. Currently, the vehicle does sit there. It's abandoned, and from what they can tell, not rotten or hidden. The paint, it has begun to flake, and the windows, they do look a little chipped, busted. I mean, vehicles have taken damage. Some have broken their windows, some have them rolled down, and some are dented. But this thing doesn't look too beat up. I mean, they might have checked the tires, but that's about it. If it has gas, that'd be a fucking miracle too. Though, that's the outcome they're not expecting. The vehicle might have already been siphoned, and if it has, they should have enough to get it to the nearest gas station. Though, that does also concern them. Currently, Bakugo going to turn. Him giving the thumbs up as he's going to turn. Currently, him going to actually fly back over the railing. Him hanging there for a minute, we're going to let go. Him grabbing the railing underneath, and then going to repeat the process. Him getting onto the ground level and running over. Currently, him looking around and seeing. Oh, come on. Currently, him seeing a mammoth. And it does sit there on the highway. Currently, it slowly moving and looking around. And Bakugo would watch it begin to actually part some of the cars in its path. Some of them being slowly moved, as others, they do have a bit more of a metallic grind to them. And it is making its way slowly. Currently, the group having to wait. If they wait for it to pass, then everything should be fine. And they should be able to get the vehicle. But if not, there might be some trouble. Currently, this thing going to stop and turn its head before it would just bring its head up and sniff the air. And currently, it would just let out a bit of a wail. The group watching on as this thing, it does go to wait before the inhuman screech is met by some sound. And the group, they do just want to sit there. And we do currently have Nejire. She just sit there with a rifle in her hand and pinned against the wall. Her a bit more concerned. Her going to turn and actually sit up before looking around the corner and trying to see if there's anything there. And currently there is something down there with the infected. Her going to actually lean out a bit more and see something. As currently her eyes, they just don't widen. Her turning back and going just don't sit there. Everybody turning to Nejire as she has to bring her hand up to her mouth. Her bolting over to the vehicle and running. Run out the group turning and seeing Nejire as they do to follow. Her getting in the driver's side and going to turn. Her going to hyperventilate a bit as they're actually with the group just get in the vehicle. Currently, Bakugo turning and talking about how, what the hell was that? What did she see? Keys? Keys! Now! We gotta get out of here. Hammering his hand up, slamming them down into her hand as she go to turn. Her jamming it directly into the ignition and turning before going to actually speed away. Currently the vehicle beginning to move fast. And Bakugo, he is staring at Nejire, who is trying to move like a bat out of hell. And it does somewhat alarm her. Now, Nejire is not coming down. She drives like this all the way until they get out of the city. And that is where she's going to calm down. Her looking in the rearview mirror and with a lot going through her mind. There's no fucking way he's alive. There's no fucking way he could have been there. There's no way that could have been him. If that was him, then that means he knows they must have been there. No, he definitely knew. He definitely fucking knew. Sir Night-Eye looked right at her. That going through her mind. And currently, we do actually cut over to a location where the person, they do stand there in the dark. They have a few things going through their head. A lot happening. A lot they need to figure out. Process. They've heard the broadcast. They've heard much. And so far, they need to leave. And currently a door, it does go to open. Right now a group of people stepping out with rifles in their hands. And many of them a lot more concerned. Currently, this being the man with red hair steps out from the room. Him looking out at the sunlight once more, looking around the area. Barren, clear, and alive. The city definitely fell. People took it back. People aren't people anymore. He knows that. And currently, there actually is where Endeavor, he'll get a turn. Him walking back in to this facility. Him walking over and bringing his hand up. Pounding on something into the wall as lights do come on. Him seeing some vehicles that do sit here. And currently, he has to walk over, beginning to check the state of one of them. And while that does currently happen, we do have where somebody else does come walking up. Them bending down and asking Endeavor if he does need a hand. Him gonna turn and tell Natsuo no. Right now he's got to figure a few things out. He has to make sure people are still people. Stay with the rest of the people from the association. As far as they're aware, this place is the only safe place right now. But Dad, you shouldn't go out there alone. I'm not. Other people will be with my son. A lot of other people. I'm in capable hands. I was a pro, remember? I know, but now you're not. Dad. I get you want to try and find Mom. Find Shoto, but you yourself said it before. Hell, even that one lady said it. You know, Fuyumi doesn't like her. I know. I really do. But I have to be sure. I have to go check UA. If I can't find him or your mother's... If I can't find any trace of them, I'll come back. I don't know. If I can find something, then it will be good. Maybe go to the radio station. Find out what this little group has been doing. This group must know something. Maybe talk to them. Hearing that Endeavor is back from the land of the hearing that Endeavor is back might inspire some people. It might help. If it doesn't, then I don't know what will. Not so. Society needs to be rebuilt. And status and popularity doesn't matter anymore. And when I turn, as right now a woman would come walking into the room. Currently her gonna walk over and look outside. As leading the gaunt, does stare up at the sun once more. A lot more happy to see something other than the bunker they've stayed in. And being able to smell the air. Fresh, not stale. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.